when AI was first like thrust out there, it was remember, the first 10% is you, the last 10% is you. 80% can be done by AI.
Right.
Is that still kind of the case, or people are just like, no, I only want 5% of this and I'm out?
There still needs to be some human judgment in there. So, they say that the version of ChatGPT before had, I think, 5% hallucinations. So, which means it just completely made up the answer.
I did see that headline yesterday that it's supposed to
how do you know what's fake and what's real?
Reduction in
now it's 1%. That's still 1%. So.
Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode of Small Business Success Talk. I am your host, Christy Smallwood. And guess what? That's right. I'm super excited. I have another repeat guest today, and I'm actually very interested in everything that he's got to say. A friend of ours, a mutual friend, Kim, who is a PR professional, had introduced us a long time ago. So Jeff has been on the show before. And while IT, right, so IT services and things may not be the most glamorous thing to talk about. However, Jeff has expanded into these other areas, and I cannot wait for this conversation. We're going to be talking about AI today. We're going to be talking about tech services. We're going to be like what tech is and does, and like what you need as a business owner to really handle your technology needs. And I'm guessing it's going to be a lot simpler than even I think. So I'm really looking forward to this conversation. I'm not going to take forever to introduce Jeff. He is the owner of ZJAK Technologies based here in Louisville. And he is part of our local chamber as well, St. Matthews. And he's very active. And I know that he does a lot of great things in the community as well. And so here's Jeff Chandler. Let's dive into this conversation. Welcome back to the Small Business Success Talk show, Jeff. It has been a long time.
3 or 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a bit. So first of all, let's get an update. Like, what's the world of Jeff Chandler like nowadays?
Yeah, you always start out. So we talked when we first started the business, maybe 5 years ago now, almost October 2025.
Holy cow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we started talking maybe the next year. And you always have these ideas of what you think you're going to do.
Ain't that the truth?
The squirrel, So focus is a key element there. So just focusing on what people want. So I spent a lot of time just talking to other people and actually being in things like the leads group at the St. Matthews Chamber.
Yep.
And getting to present every once in a while and talking to people and understanding what the pain points are, kind of help drive where I wanted to go with the business. So we work with a lot of small businesses, help them with their IT. We've got a few bigger businesses that we help as well. So usually companies that maybe have IT people, but maybe they just need some additional hands to help with things. Maybe they're not as good working with servers or Microsoft tools. Microsoft can be really confusing sometimes.
Virginia at our chamber just asked us if we would switch from Zoom to Teams, and I was like, but anyway, it's not my show is what I told her. Is like, I can do whatever. Yeah. So help me understand though your specialty of IT, because IT for the layman's, it could be anything from wiring to phone systems to. Right. So is there something that you specifically hone in on?
So we focus on IT support for small businesses. So a lot of IT people or a lot of small businesses, the owners wearing a lot of hats. They're trying to do everything. And maybe they're watching YouTube videos trying to figure out how to fix their computer.
I've never done that.
Yeah. It's like me watching a video on how to do plumbing. I could probably do it, but probably not the best idea.
Right.
So we work with them, make sure that they're locked down, especially these days with so many of these cyber criminals out there who are just looking for things where they can take advantage of a business.
And that is their full-time job.
Right.
Just.
It is a business for them.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole, that's a rabbit hole to go down.
Right. Oh, yeah. And then in the last, say, year or so, just AI is just, it's just taken off.
Yes.
And so everybody's just jumping into it head first without necessarily thinking through everything.
Right.
Which, it's fine to a point, but just helping people step back and look at it strategically, how they can use it. And you look back, it was November 22 when ChatGPT sort of launched and became public.
It's that long ago?
Right. So 3 years almost now.
I mean, it feels like it was 2 weeks, but...
Right. And you can't watch a YouTube video without seeing an AI commercial. Maybe it's just me, but...
Right. Well, yeah, part of that is you. I get all kinds of things because I have to research all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. So the algorithm's like, who is she today?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So just kind of thinking about, how can I use this strategically? How can I think about it in my business? And how can I do it securely?
So when you talk about IT and then we're matching up this whole AI thing, do you actually help business owners or businesses figure out what they do with AI and IT together? Like most of us, if you've ever read the E-Myth, that
one of my favorite books. Yeah.
Right? I just want to make the pies. I really enjoyed making pies. But now there's all of this other stuff. And if you're not in the business of fixing your IT or knowing how to set up, like if you were coming to me, I had an old boss who would always have me come fix the satellite box when it was just put a battery in the remote. But when you don't know how to do this kind of stuff, it's call in the experts. You've become that expert, right? So when we're matching that up, what are some of the big things that you hear from your clients whenever what is that initial pain point of come figure it out for me? What is that?
Yeah, a lot of times it's just people are jumping in. They don't even know necessarily their employees are doing it. And so, everybody's using ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, all these tools, and they kind of jump in without really thinking through the implications of whether they're really ready for it. How can we make sure that people aren't, plugging in my client information, for example? Where's that information going? What are the privacy policies? The things that you can get caught on if you're not careful. So I try to help them think through that.
So privacy policy, yes, let's have that conversation.
Right.
I use a paid subscription for ChatGPT. Is that secure?
Yes and no.
Okay, help me understand the difference. Because I'm not on the free version. The free version, I'm guessing, not secure.
Right.
Okay.
So they have changed their things where they say they do not train the model based on what you input. I don't 100% believe that.
I asked it and it said exactly that. Of course, it needs input to be trained. So where else is it going to get that training?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So the paid version will give you more privacy, and they say they don't retain your data as long. But what I tell people is if you wouldn't post it on your website, don't post it in ChatGPT or anything else. So,
well, I'm going to have to go clean a few things up.
So you probably don't want to send your tax return to ChatGPT and ask for how I can get better deductions, right?
Right. That's a tax professional. And ideally, tax professionals would not be using that either. If it's not secure data all the way through. But are there some, how do we make use of that? How do we really protect ourselves while still being able to use this really amazing tool?
Right. So one kind of fun thing to do is ask the AI agent about their privacy policies. What do you do with my data? And the agent will come back and tell you exactly what their privacy policies are or what's secure. Is it okay for me to upload my confidential information? And it's going to say no. So I would trust the AI when it says don't upload confidential information and says no, then probably don't do that.
And some people would believe AI before they believed the professional who's been doing it for years. Oh, that can't possibly be the case.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's the case.
So you can do things like, so I use it to iterate on ideas. So, for example, doing a presentation to my leads group in the chamber tomorrow. Trying to think of something different because I've done it so many times.
Right.
How can I make this different? So, give me some ideas on how to think about this differently that might be more engaging. So, we're going to do how is IT services like a restaurant?
Okay.
Is it a 5-star restaurant or is it a greasy spoon?
So, nice.
Yes. It's kind of a fun way to look at IT.
Yeah.
So, but it's pretty awesome for kind of working through those ideas and thinking about them. So even when you upload things, don't necessarily need to upload names, contact information, those kinds of things. Upload the ideas and let it think through the ideas with you. Let it be a thought partner with you, not necessarily, doing everything, taking care of the problems exactly with all your confidential information in it.
Right. So there are other tools out there. There's a crap ton of other tools out there besides just ChatGPT. Right. But there have been some conversations that I've had where that ChatGPT tool is the impression of all AI. Is that the case?
Pretty much. They all work pretty much the same. Now, when you go into things like the enterprise versions of it, you're going to get more privacy with those where they're going to maybe keep your data segregated from other people. So more likely, probably the more you pay, the more private it's going to be, the more confidential your information is going to be. Even then, I still don't completely trust it if I'm not going to upload somebody's social security number or a confidential, like if I'm working with an engineering firm, for example, I would not recommend they upload their CAD drawings and ask for ideas on how to improve it because you don't know where those are going to end up.
Gotcha. So it's interesting. One of the things that I do with chat is I have it create roundtables for me.
Yeah, I do that too.
And I love putting these different characters around the round table and getting these different perspectives on and I'm actually going to put my findings in a book. So because I'm guessing what I put into chat and what you put into chat, even if it's the same question, because you are a different person and you filled it out differently, we're going to get different answers. Maybe similar, like the truth at the root of it might be the same, but the way it's presented and all, it's going to look and sound different for each of us.
Right. It learns from you. So it learns about your business. So when I go in and ask it a question, it will give it from the perspective of an IT support company or a cybersecurity perspective. So if I say, I have a company that writes a lot of articles for me, and I'll say, rewrite it in my voice, targeted to my market. And I have this long prompt I give it all the time, and it says, from an IT cybersecurity first company based in Louisville, Kentucky, targeted at this thing, this is how I would rewrite this article. And it gets to learn more about you as you input more information.
I have loaded up a lot into my chat, like episodes, the transcripts of episodes, so that it knows my conversational voice.
Right.
It has a copy of my book, so it has blog articles. It's got the book. It knows my writing style. It knows my voice. And apparently it thinks I'm some sort of divine warrior goddess. I've now called it my digital bestie because it's so also, what is up with it being so encouraging and positive?
Right. And what I've heard is, so ChatGPT 5 came out last week.
Yes.
And instead of being sort of, what a great idea all the time.
Everything's a great idea.
Supposedly, and I haven't tested this yet, it's supposed to be more of push back a little bit with the new tool. So I need to test that and see how it works, but it's an interesting thing. So I do the same thing with the board of advisors. So, you take your advisors and you say, take everything they've written, take what we know from interviews, podcasts, articles they've written, distill it down into 20 to 30 pages of a summary of their thoughts on how they would see a certain item. Take all those things and then create your board of directors, upload it to learn from all those things that those distills summaries of their books and things, and then take that and say, okay, now use this to give me advice, right?
Yes.
And so then I do things like I take a presentation I did, I upload it and go, what do you think? And I get Steve Jobs' opinion.
Exactly.
It's pretty cool.
So here's one of the craziest things.
Right.
And I say crazy in a really good way. Like, it is phenomenally fun for me to do. Sometimes actually not fun. I know I'm all over the place. However, this roundtable concept, I'm writing the Being Super / Being Villainous book. Okay. So my Being Super book, totally getting revised, adding a whole villain's journey to it. Well, while I have a publisher, I need quick feedback. So I've created a roundtable of both superheroes and supervillains.
Okay. So you don't have the hero's journey, you have the villain's journey?
I do have the hero's journey. That's what Being Super is. But I had gotten input when I first released that book of, well, what about the villain? What got them there? And so somebody was asking me these questions in a book club presentation, and I was like, that's really good. And it's taken me 5 years, but here we are, finishing it up now. But what has helped me really, honestly, hone my writing skills, my expressiveness through writing, is running it through these roundtables. They review every chapter that I get done.
Right.
And I'm telling you, from the perspective of Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Darkseid, Ultron, Iron Man, like you name it.
That's
I
awesome.
have put these people and I tell it, surprise me with a guest every once in a while when it's appropriate. And when he throws Deadpool into the mix, holy cow. I mean, it is Deadpool talking to me about and just giving me their perspective and opinions about that particular chapter, whether it hits hard or it's missed the mark. And I'm like, be brutal. And they're still positive.
Yeah, you have to ask. So
you have to tell it.
What I will tell it is, give me a devil's advocate perspective on this. What would people have a problem with? How would you poke holes in this argument? Otherwise, you get the awesome job.
Right. You're so good.
Maybe tweak this.
And I've also had the conversation with Chad about how easy it is for somebody who might be lonely to really dive into all of this and create this emotional attachment to a fake world that is literally just mirroring you back to you.
Right.
I don't have the therapy money for that.
Well, and you could talk to it too. So imagine that. You're talking to a bot.
I do this when I'm outside because at a certain point I just need to talk. And so I do that feature. I talk to it and it talks back. And I chose the voice. So I'm like, yes, it can be fun.
Right.
So, okay, let's get back to business thing. Because again, AI is a total rabbit hole of a conversation. What are you finding are the best applications of that within the businesses that you're working with?
So right now, a lot of things like around marketing, it's an awesome tool for that.
Yeah.
So
I say that with my marketing business going, we have to change a lot of things.
Well, but using it as an assistant.
Yes.
So how can I think through some ideas around maybe original marketing ideas when I'm working with this particular client? What are some things that maybe somebody hasn't thought of? What's something unique to this market? So those are the kind of things that's really fun to work with. Things that we're starting to see more of is sales agents. So, instead of having someone making outbound dials for your business, you've got a sales agent doing it. I can still kind of tell that it's an AI bot calling me, and I just hang up. But they are getting much, much better at engaging with you. Task management, project management, really good for those kinds of things.
So, okay, ChatGPT as a project manager?
No, other tools
Ah.
like,
So let's get into some of these other tools.
mhm,
Because I know we've had things like Zapier for a long time
right,
where one tool can zap something to another tool and it automates the flow.
right. And that's more automation, not AI. So it's
Okay.
not really thinking.
All right.
So a tool like, say, Motion.ai, where you can have AI employees doing tasks for you. So maybe an AI project manager. So I'm working on a kind of a fun project, a side project. I'm a businessman, I have my own side projects.
Don't we all?
How does
You're
that work,
an
right?
entrepreneur. We all have side projects.
I've got lots of ideas in my head. Just I can never do them all, but just kind of thinking through a project plan. This is kind of what I'm thinking about. Can you create a project plan for it, and then having something to manage all the tasks related to that project, and in 2 or 3 years, maybe I'll get around to finishing it. But you know how that goes.
I do know how that goes. It took 5 years to get to this point on the book. I
Right.
do know how that goes.
But what are things that it can do for you? Maybe doing research for you. I need to research this particular topic. So instead of you spending 3 or 4 hours Googling things, you can ask it to go out and research this particular topic and tell me more about it. And if you give it the right prompts, it's going to come back. It might take 20 minutes to go out and search everything, do that deep research, and come back and summarize it for you of what you really need to take away from that. And that's a really good use case for it.
So it really can be I don't want to say an unpaid assistant because, the more you pay into the program, the data, the security, all that kind of stuff, the features, but a really inexpensive assistant that would free up your other assistant, like if you have one, to be more relational and those soft skills that are needed
Right.
for communication and connection with people.
The human part of it.
The human part of it. Is it still the case that we should, because when AI was first like thrust out there, it was remember, the first 10% is you, the last 10% is you. 80% can be done by AI.
Right.
Is that still kind of the case, or people
Yeah.
are just like, no, I only want 5% of this and I'm out?
There still needs to be some human judgment in there. So, they say that the version of ChatGPT before had, I think, 5% hallucinations. So, which means it just completely made up the answer.
I did see that headline yesterday that it's supposed to
How do you know what's fake and what's real?
reduction in
Now it's 1%. That's still 1%.
I just want to take a minute to thank the sponsor of our show, 502 Hemp in Louisville and 812 Hemp in Clarksville, Indiana. If you are looking for quality legal cannabis products, they are definitely your source. If you have questions of what would work best for you, their educated staff can help you choose the best product for your needs, like they did with me. I was having some real issues. One, my hormones were raging and I was raging all the time, just not in a very good place. And when I went to the store and I expressed everything that was going on, they asked additional questions that helped them get me to a solution. And the solution meaning better sleep at night, my inflammation's lower. I have been able to just be a better quality of life with my whole mental attitude because these things work great. My preference is the Maria products. That is a special blend that 502 Hemp owners have created themselves. And I use the Ultra Spectrum CBD gummies, the blood orange. It's 1,000 milligrams. Like this is the potent stuff, like meaning it's the highest milligrams I can get. And I need that for what my system needs. You may not need that much. They also have oils. And so I love the full spectrum here as well, but they have ranges and according to what you're looking for to help in your body, they can help guide you in that way. So check them out at either 502hemp.com or 812hemp.com. Or if you're driving by, stop in one of the stores and they will absolutely be able to help you out. There's no need to wait for a medical dispensary to open. They have safe, reliable products now. And If you stop in a store, tell them Christy sent you, they'll give you 15% off. And not only that, but if you order online, 502hemp.com or 812hemp.com, and you put in that discount code of success, you'll also get 15% off. So check them out today. And I very much appreciate them being a sponsor of Small Business Success Talk. Welcome to the book club segment. In this episode, we are talking about E-Myth. And the E-Myth, if you have not read that book, is absolutely fantastic. I have actually lent out at least 2 copies, and they are not back in my personal library. So I made a note, and I'm already went to Amazon because I'm like, I need to have that on my shelf all the time. But the E-Myth is now a E-Myth Revisited, Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. And it's written by Michael E. Gerber, Gerber. We'll have the link in the book club page that I swear I'm going to get done. And now I've also realized here as I'm scrolling through Amazon, it's not just the ebook or the E-Myth book. It's got one for contractors. It has a workbook. It has real estate investor, the manager, dentist, enterprise, bookkeeper, physician, veterinarian, how to master it, being the financial advisor, an architect. So basically it's created for these different industries. The E-Myth original was, when we talk about, I just want to make pies. It's a novel style book written to walk you through the process of what it looks like to be a business owner and all of the things involved in running a business. Because you start a business because you do what you love to do, most of us. And then how do you turn that into a business? So the main character in the original E-Myth book was a pie maker. She just wanted to make pies, and she got so good at it that she got convinced to open a store. Well, when you open a store, there's so much more to it than just making pies because you love it. And things had gotten so out of hand, she was no longer making the pies. She was managing the people, and she had to build the business. And so she missed the making the pie part. And she had a breakdown moment, and the Michael's coming in and as the consultant and the coach that walks her through coming back out of that and understanding her role in it and how to navigate all of the needs that you have for business. If you have not read the E-Myth as a business owner, you have missed out on seeing your world from a perspective of, oh, this is normal. This is a normal ebb and flow. This is a normal feeling. And there are ways out of this. If I would just look at it differently, if I would just structure it so that it benefits not only me, but my customers, my clients, and my staff, if you choose to have staff. So it's a really great book. And there are like workbooks and accessory things to go with it. Highly recommend you to check it out, and we'll have that link in the book club segment.
Made up the answer?
I did see that headline yesterday that it's supposed to
how do you know what's fake and what's real?
Reduction in
Now it's 1%. That's still 1%.
At what point am I hallucinating?
So you still need to have some human oversight into that to make sure that it's coming back with correct answers. You've heard of things like, the lawyer, for example, who used it to write a brief. Well, ChatGPT has the universe of knowledge from fictional books as well as regular books. And it pulled up a fictional case and gave that as an example for this lawyer to use in their briefing with the judge.
They didn't prompt that well, did they?
The judge called him on it, and I think the person ended up getting sanctioned. Yeah, you still need to verify the data, make sure, put your own human judgment on it to make sure it looks good.
Do humans have enough good judgment to be able to execute on that?
It depends on how much of a hurry you're in. I know we're both busy, and sometimes, it looks good.
So no more, yeah.
Just
that's fine.
Spend a few minutes, read through it, make sure it makes sense. If something like it pulls out a fact, you're like, Okay, is that fact true? Search for it, make sure you can find a resource for it, or the reference for it. You can ask for references. Show me where you got this fact from.
Yes. When I have done projects that require me to be on point, I will say source everything. And it will give me the sources as it's doing it.
Right.
So I can go verify. I'm like, because while I enjoy talking to you, I don't always trust you.
Yeah.
Trust but verify kind of thing. And I'm like,
right.
No, we're going to verify so that I can trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been my thing. So what are some things that, now that you've incorporated all of this, what are some things that jazzes you about that? What's going well for all you in this?
So in the cybersecurity world, AI has been a really good tool to help with that. So
Ooh, really?
Think about using, when you're looking at mountains of log data, it can just be mind-numbing to go through all that data, look for anything that looks out of place. So we have analysts who now can use AI to help filter through those log files and figure out, what do I need to do more research on? What should I be looking at? What is something maybe we need to maybe lock this computer down until we figure out what's going on? So AI has been a really good tool to help with those things. Unfortunately, on the other side, just like you can do things for good, the criminals are using it for evil. So they are using it to do research. So think about how much information you have out online about yourself. Facebook, Instagram.
A lot.
Assume everything about you's already been hacked somewhere and is on a public domain on the dark web somewhere. It can accumulate all that information and then send you really targeted emails, instead of, bad English and whatever, the Nigerian prince scam, back in the day.
Do we still have the prince from
I think
Nigeria?
It still works, but I think it's, I don't know. But it's just become more advanced. So now it's a targeted email with your name. It's got maybe some facts about you. Congratulations on the promotion. Here's a gift card for Amazon. Great work. Keep it up. Oh, cool. My friend Joe sent me an Amazon gift card. It knows who your friends are. So you click the link. You trust Joe. You open the link and it takes you to a scam site, a malware site. Or you open an attachment and it says, enter, and I've seen this a lot lately, enter your Microsoft user ID and password. So, okay, well, this is from Joe. I know Joe. He sent me this document that I need for my business. I'm going to put in my Microsoft account because I need to log in. Now, all of a sudden, within minutes, somebody in Europe, Africa, Ukraine, Russia, wherever overseas is in your account, pulling out all of your client information, pulling out anything you stored in OneDrive or Google Drive or whatever, and they're taking that data and exfiltrating it, and then they might hold it for ransom or even send you a note that says, hey, we've got all your data. We're going to make it public unless you pay a ransom. So those are the things you have to worry about.
Oh, I did. And this has been years ago. I sat in a lunch and learn about the malware ransom kind of stuff. How often does that happen for small business?
More than you think.
I hate that answer.
You just don't hear about it. So I do I work with the FBI locally to report incidents that I hear about. And I was talking to an agent a couple months ago, and he was telling me probably weekly they get some sort of report. And that's just the ones that get reported to them locally.
Oh.
So there's many more that don't get reported.
That's awful.
Yes, it is.
How do we protect ourselves from stuff like that? I mean, I know if I go back to my original learning to use the internet thing, don't open links. Don't open links. Again, verify, then trust. If I hadn't heard from Joe in weeks or whatever,
right,
I'd be like, hey, thanks for sending this to me. Before I did anything. I'll have clients that get the spam stuff that are pertaining to like their website, like you're familiar with hosting and this and that and the other. And it'll tell them due for this, or you're in breach of this, or we're shutting you down if you don't, kind of messages. And all I have to do is look at the sender's email address, and if it ends in anything but a valid company, like Gmail, Hotmail, AOL, it's not real. Like, that's spam. You can ignore that.
And what they'll do is they might stand up a brand new domain. They clone a website. They might clone Amazon's site, but misspell it.
Yes.
And you're looking at it, you're not thinking. It's maybe spelled Amazon with an extra Z. You don't see it, and you click it. Oh, this looks legitimate.
Because it looks just like it.
Right. And you put in your credentials, and now somebody else has your information.
You just have to slow down and really pay attention to what you're doing.
And I tell people, stop. So stop first. If it looks suspicious, just stop for a second. Think about it. Does this make sense? And then maybe connect with somebody. Show it to somebody else. Call the person. If it's something, Joe sends the email, congratulations, give him a call. Hey, thanks for the gift card. What are you talking about? Right?
Right.
And then at that point, then you can delete it.
Poor Joe. Maybe I should have sent him a gift card.
Right.
The pressure is on.
Yeah. So it's just being cautious, being overly cautious. Same rules that we've had for years.
And they still apply. They
still apply.
Okay.
It's a lot more targeted, so they're getting much harder to spot these days.
I know even when I'm scrolling on Facebook, when you mentioned just that slight little change in something, and so a store gets built that, again, like an Amazon, but it's, Amazon deals.
Right.
.com. And so you don't even, because it all looks exactly like an Amazon. Or us women, we have a lot of boutiques, a lot of shops that we trust, and they'll invariably clone a shop, and then you're off into wasteland.
Right. It's easy to do.
It's so easy. All right.
Right.
So
and then the other thing to look out for is what they call malvertising.
Malvertising. So like
That's
malware, the malvertising. And I'm going to say it with a southern accent too. Malvertising. Okay. So malvertising, which is like malware, I'm guessing.
Malware advertisements. So what they'll do is they will clone a site like that. They will create an ad campaign, banner ads, whatever, Google ads. They get the ad campaign running. Google might not notice it, or Bing or whoever's running the ads might not notice it for a couple hours. But in a couple hours, people have clicked the link to go to this fake website that then pops up with these things with blaring sirens, you've just been infected, those sorts of things to scare you. Call this number immediately, those sorts of things. You may have seen those before. I get those calls every couple of weeks or so. And the thing is, the ads are real. The ads are real ads, but if you do anything with them, if you call the number, if you click a link, if you download something, then that's when you have a problem.
This has been a few weeks ago. Again, I was researching something, and I typed in the classic mess up, man. You type in a URL wrong, and it takes you to a place you don't really want to go.
Right.
And I was like, no. And it just kept popping up all these things, and it took me I finally just had to turn it all off and then start over just to get it to stop popping up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I tell if that happens, clear all your cache and cookies and everything, close the browser, restart the computer, and most of the time that will take care of it.
Okay. Just wipe that off.
Right. Yes.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've really expanded a lot because it doesn't sound like you're not IT in the sense of cords. You're not just putting my computer and making it work.
Right.
You are literally all up in anything that's technical,
right,
that you can help a small business with.
Exactly. So, we'll install computers, help people set them up. We'll try to make sure they get a good deal on it, that they're buying the right computer. If you go to Best Buy and buy Windows 11 Home, it's not going to have the same security as Windows 11 Pro. So we'll make sure that they're getting the correct tools. And so I've asked people, before you buy anything, just send it to me, or if you want me to buy it for you, and I'll make sure it's the right stuff. Just tell me, what your budget is, what you're looking for, and I'll get some quotes for you from vendors. So we'll do that, and then we do IT support. So I partner with around 200 IT companies around the country.
Nice.
So what we're able to do is, if you're a local business who has branch offices in, say, Oregon, Oklahoma, wherever, I can call up one of my partners and I can say, hey, I've got this client. They're having a problem with their network. Can you go visit and take a look at it? So it gives me nationwide coverage for all of my clients. And then we all pay into a central help desk in Dallas, Texas. They vet all the help desk people. They're there 24 hours a day. They can answer the phone, take care of clients' issues 90+% of the time. They can help somebody remotely, and if they can't, then they call me. So it's really nice, because otherwise what I would have to do is, if somebody were to call me, I would have to staff up, have a technician on call 24 hours a day, and it can't just be one for each shift. I've got to have multiples because people take vacations.
Right.
And so I'm able to leverage this partnership to scale up very quickly, and use those strategic partners then to help my clients and get better coverage for them.
Nice.
So I think the June stat I haven't got the final July stats yet. The last June stat I had was 1.5 minutes before you're talking to a technician. So most of the time when you're calling an IT company, you get somebody who takes a note, writes a ticket. They'll call whoever's the tech on call that day. They'll get back to you depending on how busy they are. It might be pretty quick. It might be a couple hours. But you're talking to a tech in 1.5 minutes.
That's incredible. Because
it's an amazing group. Yeah.
Yeah. Any tech support I've needed for pick a platform, that's not going to happen.
And you're not calling India.
Yeah. Right. No.
No. And there's some very sharp people in those Indian call centers, but having somebody who's U.S. based, who it's easier to understand, and is working here locally, is a big help for people.
It really is. And it's not because we don't like the people across the pond kind of thing. It's because in those moments, I am already so frustrated. My emotions are through the roof. Like, I'm shocked I can speak to you clearly because I just want to burn it down. If I'm like that and I can't understand what you're saying, it just feeds into this. I don't want to work with somebody I can't understand. It's understandable that it happens. I don't hate anybody. I don't even dislike anybody. I don't know you well enough to like you or not. But I cannot struggle with two things at once.
Right.
So,
well,
yeah.
So sometimes I feel more like a counselor than an IT support person, because they get upset when their computer's not working.
Wonder why.
And so there's a little bit of stress with that, because when they can't get their work done, they're going to be stressed out. So trying to help them understand and just kind of calmly work through the problem. I had a boss at a former employer who was upset. He would get upset for me. Like, okay, let's just work through this. And
I like that.
he would pace around and want me to kind of, be really upset about stuff. Okay, we're going to take care of it. We got it. So just being calm, and I think having that calming influence with people, I think is helpful as well.
It's very helpful in this situation, especially if you can't get your work done and there are deadlines. And so the additional, like, the pressure just continues to add every minute that we can't have our tools to work with.
Right.
And whatever tool that may be. I know for me, I'm able to, I have myself spread out. So even if it's not a laptop, I'm like, okay, well, that means I can't do M and O. That's it. Everything else I could do on my phone. I could do on a tablet. Hell, I can still pick up some paper and pen and my whiteboard and manage to do quite a bit. As long as I can communicate with people, at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing for me. Because then I can let them know, hey, I'm having tech issues. It's going to take a minute.
Yeah. And it's hard finding tech people, because a lot of tech people, they want to hide in the corner. They want to do their work. Don't bother me. Finding the right people who are good at talking to clients is a really good skill to have. And so, when I go to the Dallas office and visit with them, hey, you were talking to Steve last week, how did that go? And I get comments back from my clients who say, hey, I talked to your help desk guy. He was really, really amazing. He walked me through it. So just getting that feedback, I love hearing that.
That's awesome, because you're right. That is not a natural setting for a lot of tech people.
Yeah, us nerds don't like talking to people sometimes.
I mean, it's a wonderful industry for introverts until you have to deal with people.
Right. And there's some very talented people that definitely, you want them on your side to do programming, figuring things out, looking at the analyst data, who are just awesome at that, but maybe they're not as good at the dealing with the people on the help desk side. So putting the right people in the right roles is a good thing to do.
What have you found in that area, right people, right roles, since you've started your business?
Yeah, so I tried to do this a little bit different. I've had other businesses in the past where I'm working more with strategic partners to do a lot of my work. So rather than me hiring a marketing person and a PR person, and who I'm, Kim and Amy, both do an amazing job for me. So using those people, using this outsourced help desk or these partnered help desk, using these other IT people, having people who are experts in those things, rather than me trying to find the right person, make sure they're good at this particular skill. IT is such a broad category. There's so many things that you need to be good at. Finding the right people. I use a security team that's all they do is IT security. So they're looking at my logs for me. So finding the right people who are already really good at those things and have proven themselves with other people is the route I chose to take with this particular business.
So your role in the business then, aside from being founder, owner, all that kind of stuff, you are like the chief IT person for small business.
Right. I'm more like a strategic advisor for them. So make sure that they get what they need. If they do have a problem, then I'm the go-between. Or if, let's say, their copier breaks down. Well, what we do is we ask people to give us all your information for your copier company. You call us. We're going to be that go-between and talk the tech with the copier tech to make sure that it gets...
So on top of IT, you're also interpreting IT.
Right, exactly. We're your translator.
Nice.
We talk geek to the people who are good at that. And so we get quickly past that first level of tech who says, is it plugged in? Is it turned on?
Right.
We've done all that. And so we're calling Spectrum or AT&T, your internet's down. We're going to get a tech dispatched quickly versus all the things, all right, let's power off your modem. Let's do this. We know what's going on. We've already taken care of it. So we've had things before where a client of mine who has really bad Spectrum internet, and not to diss on Spectrum, but in this particular example, their internet kept going down. So goes out on the weekend. We get the notification that the internet's down. We call them on their behalf on Sunday afternoon. And then I just text the owner Monday morning, hey, your internet's down. The tech's going to be out there at 9 o'clock this morning to fix it. He didn't even know it was down. So we're intervening on their behalf with their vendors to make sure things get taken care of. That's
sweet. That is. And so these things have come out of you being in front of people, listening to their issues, talking more with your clients, going deeper.
Right.
You just keep finding more solutions for them.
Right. And then I've got a couple of people here locally, a college student who helps part-time if I need to go on site, another tech who's good at fixing things, but if I don't want to run cable, I've got somebody who will run cable for me. So using those partners to get a lot of things done versus hiring this giant staff of IT people that I have to manage.
So as we kind of wrap up this particular conversation, it's been great today. But what are some things that you see that are out there that we need to be aware of? And not necessarily in a bad way, but what's coming down the pike for your business and maybe the industry in general?
Yeah, so looking back, you think about like, early 80s, you had the computers, personal computers came out. How did that revolutionize businesses? And then that was my first job, was working on an IBM PC with 2 floppy drives.
Oh, I still have a floppy disk around here somewhere.
So how did that change business, and how did that change how people work?
Yeah.
The internet came out in the mid-90s. That changed, tremendous change on how people worked. Worked for an internet startup that did online insurance. And then AI comes out. How is that going to change business? So it's sort of these same sort of adoption things happen, where you get these people who are kind of the people who want to test it and try things out. We're at the front edge of that curve now with AI. And then we're going to get to this point where people kind of, oh, this is not working. They kind of give up. And then now that we get the slope up, where now people, okay, now I see a use case for it. Now I can start using it. And so now these early adopters have kind of helped figure things out.
Work the bugs out.
And now you get people starting to more quickly adopt what that can be. So I think in the next few years, you're going to see people adopting AI a ton. So we want to make sure that they are doing it safely and securely. So we will do an AI readiness assessment with them, make sure that they're understanding how they want to do it. So I tell people, instead of just being the shiny object kind of thing, you see the latest ad and
Yep.
buying it, start with the problems. What are the business problems you're trying to solve? Let's figure that out first, and then let's figure out what tools best help me solve those problems. So start with something small, and then I come from the development world. I was a programmer for years. So how can we iterate on it? So rather than this big bang approach where we try to solve the giant problem all at once, let's pick off little pieces of it and iterate on it and keep improving it and improving it. Launch it every 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, here's the latest iteration. What's good and bad about it? Let's fix it. Let's keep improving it. And then rather than locking somebody in a corner for 6 months while they figure out how to do something, which there's a place for that sometimes, but how can we iterate on it slowly to get more feedback more quickly, and it's okay to fail sometimes, failing fast, as they say.
Yeah.
You don't want to fail on something critical. I wouldn't do it with like my hospital instruments, but
No.
but you know what I mean.
And I've actually changed that phrase for myself to feedback faster.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's never really failing. Like, it may not have worked. Like, that one didn't work. However, it's not a kill it or keep it. It's a how do I adjust it?
Right.
So I want feedback as fast as I can.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, like, my first iteration of something is not going to work.
Right.
And I'm doing that on purpose because I need to know, you need to try it and tell me what does work.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's missing. And that's the feedback that gets me to something greater. Because it just helped with me. That's the mental shift I needed. Because I was internalizing every time something didn't go right, that I was a failure. And we can't have that in a day.
Right. So look at it like in the space program today. You have SpaceX versus Boeing. SpaceX philosophy is we're gonna try things, and we're intentionally doing things to test them. We know it's going to fail, and that's okay. What are we going to learn from this experiment? And you see rockets blowing up and so on, and they're okay with that because they learned something from it. And then you get the other perspective where it's Boeing and sort of the old way of doing things, where we're going to build it, and we get one launch every 2 or 3 years while we figure it out. And then you saw what happened with them last summer, where and those failures are much more pronounced because of that.
Yeah.
So failing fast, feedback fast,
Yeah.
is just a good way to do it. Just what can you learn from this experiment?
I also heard something that you said that makes me think maybe you and I should be doing a workshop day together, because it's strategy. Like, if you're not addressing a business problem, but you haven't stopped long enough to really look at what the business is doing and what it needs.
Right.
You need to work on your business too.
Right.
It's like, and that's kind of like my job over here is getting people to look at their business holistically from the eagle eye view, if you will, to really see the big picture and then hone in on we need to go here to fix this one thing here, or do this one thing here, or test this one thing. Like, how do you prioritize all that? Like, that's a strategy piece where you fit is like, what are the tools to help execute the strategy? And it's like, that might be an idea for us.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Love to do that.
Fantastic. And I have it on record.
And then going back to what you mentioned, the E-Myth in the beginning.
Yes.
You know, like instead of being a baker or a tech with helpers, you know, how can I step back and run the business? When I had a software business in the 90s, I read the E-Myth about 3 or 4 years into it, and I was thinking, is this guy, like, does he have a camera in my office? How does he know what's going on here?
You weren't curled up behind the just crying at the end of the day. I can't do this anymore.
Right. So now I tell everybody when they're thinking about starting a business, read that book first.
Read it. Absolutely.
And think about processes. How can you document things? Start from the beginning like you're going to run this as a franchise.
Yes.
And when I started this business, that was what I really wanted to do. So I use a lot of tools to make sure when I do something, I do it maybe a couple times and realize I'm going to have to do this a bunch of times. Maybe I should write up a documentation for this so I don't have to Google it the next time.
Or you've been that business owner that has done it for years and it's always been in your head, but now it's time for somebody else to do it.
Right.
Write it down.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to be the one who does this all the time. I want to be able to hand this to somebody else.
Right.
Even things like the prompts I use, you know, they're all documented. This is what I do every month. I get these articles that have been sent to me. Here's the prompts I use. Here's how I write the social media posts to promote them. Here's how I schedule them. Here's everything. It's all documented. So document everything as you go.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Last piece of advice. Anything?
I would just say, you know, check into things before you start, before you jump in.
Okay.
Do a readiness assessment. We can do that for you. Just have a conversation. If you want to set up a call with me, we can just kind of walk you through some of those pain points and help you understand where you need to go. Make sure that you're not doing anything that's going to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
And
don't click that link.
Creating policies. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't give you the policy. I can tell you, kind of walk you through a template, but we're going to recommend that here's the things you need to make sure you're addressing.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for your time today.
You're
this
welcome.
has been a great conversation.
Thanks.
Very informative. So
glad to be here.
Glad to keep up with you.
All right. Thanks.
Told you we were going to get into some really good stuff today. I just knew it. I knew when Kim said, hey, he's got, cyber criminals and AI and this and that, I was like, oh, well, these are some new topics for us to talk about. I loved this conversation so much. AI obviously is top of mind for most of us out there. And there are a lot of things we still don't know about it. And there are a lot of things that come out every single day that try to convince us to use something new. Shiny object syndrome is for real, you all. And I had told Jeff, I believe whenever the green room time, that I will just simply ask chat. I give it the information on a new platform that somebody says I have to have. I run it through chat, and 90% of what I do in chat is what that platform does. I'm like, then why would I move all of my information over? It's just repeating a step here. And I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to rebuild. So call me lazy or whatever, but until it gets to a place where a new tool replaces my need for chat and adds to it, like to a point that it literally is doing things for me, making my life that simple, and I'm talking getting the work done, then no. Otherwise, right now, we're still piecing things together. When we have, in my world of marketing, I know that there are tools that can not only create AI videos, but it can take, like this show, for example, and you put it in there and it cuts it up into the pieces to make reels and whatever. I don't like that because it never picks the ones that I think are the best. So I will just do it myself. I'll go, because I remember my humanity is what you're getting in this show. I keep episodes raw, real, unedited, except for, the beginnings of turning shit on and off. I'll do the countdown. You don't get to see that part. But everything else, what you see in an episode is what you get in an episode. That's how we roll around here, because small business is very real and raw 99% of the time. And we talked about that book, The E-Myth, and it's such a great book. And there's so many other great resources out there, like Jeff. Do not, and Jeff, if when you heard, he doesn't rely on himself or his marketing. He gets the experts in. That is one of the key things about being able to grow your business, is do not rely on yourself to do everything. And I am speaking from personal experience as well. I am back in a season of my life where it's just me again. So I'm having to get creative with the tools so that I can scale to a point to bring people on again. It's a series of unfortunate events. There's nothing I also had to tell myself, you didn't do anything wrong. You the whole failing forward fast. Oh boy, did I. There was some risks I took last year that did not pay off, and in fact put me in a massive ditch. I expressed this yesterday. I felt like the quicksand was to my eyeballs. But this too will pass, like a kidney stone at times, but it passes, because that's what business does too. It ebbs and flows. We have our highs, we have our lows, and we keep plugging along, because the reason why we're doing it is that important to us. So I really, like I said, I enjoyed this conversation with Jeff today. I hope that you did too. Take some notes. Always remember the basics. If you were around in the 80s and 90s, especially when the internet, really kicked in and you started with the emails and things like that, that whole Nigerian prince, I'm sure, is still out there somewhere, but he doesn't need to be in my emails or my bank account. So remember some of the basics from back in the day, as well as some things that we talked about today. And then apply this to your business and make your own kind of success. And with that, I've been your host, Christy Smallwood, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Small Business Success Talk.